Hello and welcome to the Warrior Nation F1 League podcast. I'm joined as ever by bowfar, who is broken out of hospital for one night only to record the podcast.
Yes. Well, I'm out of hospital now, but I have been in hospital. It was not very nice.
We also have a few drivers from the league. Welcome to Fire Samil, Steve and Stuart. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Good day.
So we're a bit late. We're like a week late, but how did everyone's races go in Australia? Start with Samil.
Well, it's kind of hard to remember, really. Apart from the tragedy that unfolded on the first corner. Some close racing with Ferrino fan.
Microphone
and
activated.
Had to work my way up the field from there. It was quite fun for the last race of the season. Can't quite remember where I finished.
How was your race, Steve?
Pretty terrible. So it came down to the last race of the season between myself and Thimbot for the battle for 8th. The battle for bragging rights, the battle to take control of a team for Season 2, and I fell at the last hurdle. Pretty much my race was ruined at Turn 3 with a collision with a Sauber of sorts, and from pretty much there on in I was fighting a losing battle to try and chase down the field, overdriving, and I made a couple of mistakes and ended up finishing the last of the finishers on the last lap without a front wing. Which is a shame, really, because at the very end, I quite clearly had the pace to be running for 5th or 6th, had I not had my adventures. But, you move on, and 9th place finish for a season's worth of racing. I was pretty chuffed with that compared to... assuming as I came into the championship not knowing where I'd be and seeing people like Tupper's pace, I'm quite happy with 9th.
And yours, Stuart?
I think I had a pretty good race. I was just behind you, Ollie, before in the overall standings. Ended up starting last, which gave me the opportunity to avoid all the first lap incidents. I think I ended up coming about 7th or 8th, so I ended up leapfrogging
P7.
P7. So I ended up leapfrogging a few people, and I think I got third last in the overall standings. So after about 4 or 5 races, weren't too bad. Can't complain.
Cool. Well, my race sort of started quite badly, but I had Thimbot getting in the back of me because I had to stop for Smil, who was cutting right across the track sideways. I had a fairly decent race. I can't remember where I finished. Was it 10th, Steve?
Yeah, you picked the last point.
Yeah. I took my headset off and that made a massive difference, and I didn't crash out at all. Didn't lose the front wing at all, I think. So long ago now. How was your race, Bowfar?
Of what I can remember, it was quite good. I finished in a very solid 5th place, which took me above... my aim for the start of the season was to finish above someone who had left the league, Aidan Johnson, who was on 51 points, and that was my goal from the first go. And I think I was 3 points behind going into the race, and a 5th place, very good for me, and got the points I needed, and I think I had quite a good season.
Okay, well that brings us to the championship table, the final championship table for season 1. Steve, would you mind doing the honours as Kerr isn't here?
That's fine. So it was inevitable. Tuppers, he absolutely trounced the competition. Fantastic season for him. He ended the season on 376 points, ahead of Cube, who was 104 behind. Shiraz ended up finishing 3rd on 248. And then we had Josh, unfortunately finished ahead of our very own Fire Samil for the battle of the McLaren drivers. Ferrari number 1 fan came in 6th. Oxa finished 7th. Thimbot, of course, took that 8th position on the 75 points. I was 3 points behind in 9th. Vanoom, terrible end to the season for him, unfortunately. My teammate, finishing on 59 points, tied with bowfar, who had a fantastic end to the season, I have to say. And he said he scored 10 in the last race there, tying him with Vanoom. Then we had Aidan Johnson, not turned up for umpteen races. Kerr popped in with 13th on 23 points, ahead of Fatal, who had 22 points. Stewart popped himself into 16th. He got a little bit higher than he thought he did on 8 points. Master Babybel then in 17th with 7 points. Ollie, you finished second from last on 5 points. And A Pocket Rocket, who completed just one race, finished last with 0 points. All in all, I think a fantastic season and 19 races with 16 places in the grid. Fantastic. Really can't give enough plaudits out to the people that competed.
And now over to bowfar for the rundown for Season 2.
With Season 1 of the Warrior Nations F1 League finished, the lineups for both drivers and teams have been changed. So here is the grid for Season 2. Reigning World Drivers' Champion Tuppers moves from Williams to the Cyber team for his title defence. OllieP 1986 is retained and all eyes are on this duo for the Constructors' Championship. Cube 623 moves from Williams to Lotus. An unused team last season, it will be good to see the black and gold cars populate the grid. He is joined by Vernon from Caterham. Given a run of good luck, could these two challenge? Shiraz 995 moves from Mercedes to Force India. A move backwards perhaps? We shall see. Master Babybel completes the lineup with this duo looking to spring the odd surprise. McLaren next and Jay Hygo is retained. Telling everyone who will listen to him that he is a championship contender, has he put himself under enormous pressure to deliver. He is joined at McLaren by former Cyberman Gaza. Fire Samil is next and makes the jump from McLaren to Ferrari and is seen by many as the chief contender to the title. Retained in the second seat is Kerr, making arguably one of the strongest lineups on the grid. Ferrari number 1 fan though moves from Ferrari to Williams, a victim of the allocation process. He is joined by Stewart SSDD. Can they deliver Williams more success in Season 2? Mercedes next and Oxa 112 stays with the Silver Arrows for a second season. Joined by bowfar, expect these two to go at it hammer and tong all season. Finally Red Bull. Thinbot 007 is retained and is joined by Stephen J. Hayes 83. The oldest pairing on the grid, will age prevail over youth? So there's the GP1 grid for Season 2. Expect close battles, renewed rivalries, and a battle to the end for each championship.
So, Samil, how do you feel about driving for Ferrari next season?
I think it'll be pretty good actually. Can't wait for the first race in Melbourne. Should be interesting. See everybody in their new cars. Each car has their strength. I personally believe that the Ferrari has good rear end grip, and I believe this will help me in the fight to win the championship.
Do you think the Tifosi are going to help you?
Maybe.
Steve, how do you feel about the Red Bull?
Well, obviously it's a completely different kettle of fish to the Caterham, so super chuffed. Expect loads of not bad for a number 2 driver comments, as I will be wearing the red 2. So happy days on that front. Obviously myself and Thinbot very, very close. It'll be interesting to see in the same car quite how it pans out. I personally believe that on any given day I can beat him, and I think he feels the same way. So it's going to be interesting. Both of us are going to be going for that Constructors' Championship, and it's going to be a proper team season. I think for the pair of us, if one of us is quicker, it's not in the team's interest to hold the other one up, sort of thing. So I think you can expect a few surprises from the Bulls this season.
Brilliant. So how do you feel, Stuart? You've got the Williams, haven't you?
I do have the Williams. I've been testing it out since the announcement's been made. It's a bit tail happy, but that's pretty suiting to my style. Looking forward to getting out the Toro Rosso, which I didn't feel turned in brilliant. So, say new teammate, because for the last few races I was driving on my own in the team, so it'll give me something to work for. Because when I joined, I couldn't realistically go for anything other than what I got in the overall standings.
How do you feel about having Ferrari #1 fan as your teammate?
I personally don't know him at all, so it's going to be a get-to-know-you process. From what I've seen, he's a pretty quick driver, so being realistic, I will do everything in my power to help him towards a title push, if necessary. But this is a team event, so we will be going for the constructors if we can.
How do you feel about your team, Ollie?
Oh, I'm very happy with the Sauber. It's been a good car. I didn't like it to begin with, but as the season progressed, I've really got used to it, and I do like it.
And
I'm also
what about your teammate?
very happy to have the World Drivers' Champion as my teammate.
Are you not afraid he's going to outclass you at every single race?
I'm entirely sure he will outclass me in every single race, but hopefully we can have a good challenge for the constructors this year. I'm sure Tuppers wants to retain both the Drivers' Championship and the constructors, so I'll help him wherever I can. How are you feeling about Mercedes?
Yeah, it's all right. I've had a drive of the car, and it feels quite nice. So yeah, the car's good. My teammate Oxa, he's a proven fast driver. He's previously won a race, so I know we've got some good speed. And I only did around half the season, and I got a good amount of points. So as long as I can stay in for the whole season, and me with Oxa, I think we've got a good chance of challenging for the constructors at least. I'm not sure if we challenging for drivers, but I think we can definitely be up there with constructors.
Cool. Well, I think that will bring it to a close this week. Thanks, guys, for popping in. Good night.